should have acted. They're already here. The Elder Scrolls told of their return. Their defeat was merely a delay, until the time after Oblivion opened, when the sons of Skyrim would spill their own blood. But no one wanted to believe they even existed. And when the truth finally dawned, it dawns in fire. But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he's Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Hello everybody, what do you think of that? Elder Scrolls V is finally announced. It's about time, really. So November 11th of 2011, that's interesting. At the same time, I think it's a year, basically. We're, well, a little less than a year, but you know, we knew it was coming out. I was gonna say, we have to wait a whole year. It's not that bad because we knew that it was coming out. I would have liked to have an earlier release date. Who wouldn't, really? But at the same time, I think it gives me enough time to prepare, basically. There's so much things that now I need to do to prepare for the game. Getting another computer for one thing, or I should say like an upgrade at the very least, and get better equipment to get ready for the whole thing. Because am I going to do an LP of that? Why wouldn't I? Completely blind and stuff like that. So yes, definitely, I'm excited for it. It doesn't give me that much time to wrap up the other Let's Plays, because I figured, it's going to take a long time before they do like another Elder Scrolls, so I might as well start with Morrowind, and by the time it's Elder Scrolls 5 comes out, I'll be done with Morrowind. Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Skyrim, I think it was an obvious choice. I think pretty much every fan knew that it was going to take place. I mean, the lore is ready for it. As far as the trailer goes, like, it sounded epic. It looked a lot better than the Oblivion teaser. But at the same time, it's kind of lacking in a way. Like, it was top quality. It didn't look like crap. And by that I mean how they had I was gonna say Picard, but how they had like the Emperor on top of the tower, the Golden Tower, I think it was called, Gold White Tower or whatever, with the hair and stuff like it. It didn't look right. I think they went with the right approach with just showing us like stonework. I think it was stone in any case. It looked like stone. What the hell did that dragon spew out of its mouth? I don't know. That was kind of weird. That's Akatosh, right? Like, I'm thinking dragons, and at first I was going to say, is it going to be another dragon, like, roaring at our screen? Like, Cataclysm, or maybe Dragon Age and stuff like that. So I'm kind of biased versus dragons. Like, I'm tired of it for trailers and icons and logos and all that stuff. But it was a different type of dragon, so it was okay, I guess. It's overdone, really, but yeah, I'm still excited. Now, what was I gonna say? Yes, um, I was afraid to say this, on my channel or like while playing games and stuff like that during my Let's Plays about the the news that the Elder Scrolls V was going to be like a direct sequel to Oblivion. Uh, because I think, and the reason why I was hesitant to comment on it was mostly because I thought that I was going to be wrong in any case. I didn't think, like, it made sense to me, but chances are I was going to be wrong, because most of the speculation was about, it's going to be like an Oblivion Elder Scrolls 4.5, where it was like on the same engine, and it was just going to be like maybe like on Cyrodiil, and they're just going to continue on the story. But like what I thought was going to be is more of pretty much more of the same. What they do with the Elder Scrolls basically is that it's the same story, but they split it, like they separate it, like between Morrowind and Oblivion. I mean, I guess it could go parallel at some point. Like I don't know much of the story about Morrowind, but they could be parallel. But they follow. I mean, I think there's a gap between the two, timeline wise, but I would have to do some research about like the dates and stuff like that, like the calendar year of the Elder Scrolls to really fully understand where in the timeline. I'm not that much of a. I would do that for the Diablo series, obviously, but for the Elder Scrolls, as much of as I'm a fan, I'm not going to be digging through that. But it would still be interesting to know. Like the intricacies of the storytelling, but yeah, I mean, to me, like the way, like the Elder Scrolls, Oblivion is not necessarily a direct sequel of Morrowind, but it is a sequel. It's obviously a sequel, but the one like in narration wise, it's it's not necessarily this. It's still the Emperor asking you to do his bidding and stuff like that. It's always about the blades, yada yada yada. But now, like I thought, like the way I saw it, like especially in my channel, people were discussing about. Well, not just the channel, even in the forums, it was talking about more like an Oblivion or Elder Scrolls 4.5, and the way I saw it was more no, and they'll pick another. I mean, it could make sense to have another Cyrodiil adventure, but they have more regions, they have more provinces. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe Somerset Isles, but Skyrim I think was the obvious choice here. I mean, everybody saw it coming, or at least we're hoping for it, and I like the fact that it to me the teaser shows that what I originally thought was correct in the sense that it's its own adventure, but it follows up on what happened on the events of Oblivion. So I think like on the article where that dude said about like he said about whatever that it was going to be a direct sequel to Oblivion. The way I saw it was more like, okay, well, what happened in Oblivion, like the events of Akatosh and what's the the Mythodon and all that stuff. It's all gonna follow up with like in Skyrim, like what happened there. You'll hear about it and you'll continue on, but it's not gonna be the same game, I don't think. So I kind of like that. I kind of like to be reassured that, because really, as awesome as I think Oblivion is, I don't think anybody would want a direct sequel. And by direct, I mean like, excuse me, same gameplay mechanics or same environments. As much as I like the environments in Oblivion, as much as I'm okay with the design, like the gameplay mechanics. I like the gameplay mechanics. I'm ready to move on from it. I think the Elder Scrolls has a lot of room to improve. and to make it really good. Like you would say, like, oh, like okay, maybe Morin was better. I'm not arguing against that, but at the same time, like Morin was not superb either. So it's they're working on the formula and they're making it better every single time. The way I see it, in any case, because I'm looking through like Daggerfall, Morrowind. Okay, I haven't really finished them, so I can't really like story wise, but I'm thinking like execution wise, the way they code their games, the way they like Daggerfall's buggy as hell, but how they present the game, how they play, and how into the environments, like how into the world that you can be. I think they're getting better and better. So I just can't wait to see what they do with. And I think they're done messing around with technologies. Um, so I'm sure they'll slap on something there just to, you know, make it complex or too shiny or whatever. But I think I think they're using the same, what is it called, Game Bro or something engine, the engine that they use for Oblivion and Fallout 3. But they're fine tuning. It's like Fallout 3. It played differently than Oblivion, and it was an upgrade to Oblivion. So I'm thinking now, and from based on what Todd Howard mentioned, I forgot which article, but he said that it's going to be look completely different. It's going to look like really next gen. So graphic wise, I'm sure that I won't be disappointed. Now it's just a matter of gameplay and see what they can do with the NPCs. That's the one thing that I'm thinking that they're really going to hit it hard and focus on that, because they tried to do something with Oblivion and essentially they failed, and or they didn't bring the right message when they were talking about it. In any case, we were expecting a lot more. They toned it down because it couldn't work the way they intended, and they kind of tweaked it for Fallout 3. And I'm thinking they have enough time now to really, like, they have two games, even three if you count New Vegas, even though they weren't the ones that developed it. I'm pretty sure they work closely with Obsidian Entertainment to be able to get the AI and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that would be their main focus for this sequel, because really that's the only thing that is missing from the Elder Scrolls. Like like, okay, it's the most advanced computer RPGs you can find in terms of NPC interaction, I would think. Um, it's a pretty robust system, and the way I see it now, for like, they really need to make it work. You don't need a fancy like physics stuff, but make it convincing, make it believable that the NPCs have they don't repeat the same type of dialogue, or they don't have the same voice, maybe. Or, I mean, that stuff doesn't really bother me, but don't make them look creepy. Uh, you know, Fix the pathfinding, stuff like that. Give us more choices, or give them more choices to react to you. Make it more a little random or something. Give them more personality. Stuff like that. I think that should be something that they would focus on, and hoping that they get it right. Hoping that, and by right, I mean, it's not that they get it wrong. I mean, they did fail, but it still worked for the game in some way. But I'm thinking um, getting it right, like the way they intended, because we all know that the way that the speechcraft mechanic work in Oblivion does not work the way it doesn't even work at all. I mean, it's just there. Like, why would you use it? I don't use it. Then again, it's always like the way I play the game. But whenever you play that mini game, you always feel like you're really doing nothing. It's just you click on stuff and you hear the other one repeat the same line over and over again. You know, Stop it! I'm scared now. Or oh, you think that's funny? That's a stupid joke, and you keep repeating that. It's Yeah, I really think that this time that would be the one to fix the game. And obviously fix the stuff like maybe the dialogue system could use a little tweaking, and not so much as the voice stuff, but like I like the voice stuff, but I'm thinking maybe add more options. And I'm thinking like after playing Morrowind for a while, you kind of miss the not necessarily the choices. I guess it is a choice, but like the list that you have, because as you learn more subject matter, you get to pick. Like you can talk to any NPC. Well, a lot of NPCs. I was going to say any NPC, but you can talk to like any random NPC. Chances are, is if you know a subject, he'll be able to at least talk about it, which is something that is missing, I think, from Oblivion. And they could tweak it. It's all about like NPC interaction, the way I see it. And of course, they can always tweak like the combat mechanic, like less projectile for magic, and maybe a little mixture of like everything. Like have us combine spells. Like have us. Well, you could combine spells, but have us like like a Dark Messiah of magic. You could freeze the ground and have there was physics in that game, but you freeze the ground to have the enemy slip on the ground and fall to their deaths, stuff like that. You know, uh, I think that would be pretty cool for spells. I mean, of course, it was a gimmick in the Dark Messiah game, but still, I mean, freeze somebody and they're crystallized, and then you just blast them to pieces. I think that would add because in a way, Oblivion only has. I think a lot of people would associate Oblivion as a shooter because basically you're shooting stuff most of the time. It's always projectiles. Magic was always the slowest projectile. It was either slow projectile, fast projectile, like the arrows. I quote, but the arrows are faster. And then you have touch spells, which was pretty much the same thing as maybe swinging a sword. Like it's combat. Maybe mix it up a little bit. Have more interaction with the environments would be pretty cool. But I think other than that, I don't necessarily need my environments more detailed. Maybe more exotic would be pretty cool. Because we've seen the forests now. I mean, I'm totally down with the forest, but it's like playing a Dragon Age Origins and playing Oblivion. The forests in the Dragon Age game seems more. I'm sorry, seems more exotic. Not necessarily I'm thinking about the elves. Like you've seen probably I've uploaded a video on my channel about the I was doing the Dalish elves quest line at that point, and it's a forest, and it looks like a forest. It's convincing enough for me, and it was very. It had a unique feel to it. Unique is not the right word, but anyways, they could work on that for the environments. But I think the main focus for them would be the AI. Fix the AI, and you get the best game ever. The way I see it. Of course, quests and stuff like that need to be unique, need to be fresh, need to be original, entertaining. But I'm not too worried about it because the way I see it, Bethesda. You have the quest from I'm judging the game based on what I see from Morrowind and Oblivion, and they do some good stuff with the quests. So they're pretty entertaining. So I don't think they're out of ideas just yet. So you could use more potatoes, jumbo potatoes quest line mixed up with your Daedra invasion quest line mixed up with your this NPC is a psychopath, quest line. So I think there's a lot of variation, and depending on it's in Skyrim. What is that? That's the Nords, isn't it? The Nords area. Yeah, Skyrim. So that would be pretty cool. I'm thinking a Viking. Well, hope not. Well, at the same time, it would be interesting. I'm thinking I've played through Wrath of the Lich King in World of Warcraft, and I'm kind of tired of the whole Viking thing. But with the Elder Scrolls, I think they'll have their own twist to it, so that would be pretty cool. So I wouldn't mind that. But environments, I think they already nailed it. They don't need more. I don't need more stuff to slow down my computer. I just want to play the game. Of course, it would be nice for those who have like faster computers and stuff like that. And that's why I'm thinking about getting an upgrade. Maybe like I'm going to need that to be able to show it off basically, because you can bet that I'm going to play that on day one. So that might be an incentive for people, like if they watch me say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the game or stuff like that. I'll let geeks play the game a little bit, see how it goes, because I don't think that everyone who watches my videos are fans of the Elder Scrolls series, but probably by then maybe they will be, because it's always nice hearing stories about having people like buy the game, try the game because of the way I play it or something like that. So I'm thinking, I guess it is publicity for Bethesda, but I'm thinking like some people won't have it on day one, so they'll have Geeks play it for them for a little bit, and they can see it for how it is. And if they really don't like what they see, they can just not buy it. So everybody's gonna buy it. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. That trailer, or I should say, the teaser, was underwhelming, but still entertaining to watch. I'm probably gonna watch it again just to see if I missed any minute details. Like it was a lot of stonework, though. I mean, it was noisy a little bit, so I didn't get to see too much. It was dark too, but yeah, I wanted to see more gameplay. Like, well, there was no gameplay. I wanted to see some gameplay. I wanted like a full trailer and stuff like that. Even if it wasn't really like what they did with the Oblivion, like you saw the engine at work. And this time we didn't see that much, and at the same time, like I come in on that earlier where they didn't have the crappy looking Emperor this time, and those were really early shots, and I'm thinking they did themselves a good service of not producing that for this teaser. Wait until you get because if you watch the intro, like the intro cinematic of Oblivion, the Emperor is ugly. For one thing, it doesn't look remotely the same as the one you have in game, and you'll also notice, well, there's always the giant soldier, the giant guard that walks through the town, which everybody seems to point out. But I always point out the grass, which is done with a hair generator for some reason. It doesn't look that great. It doesn't look like the stuff that you see in the game. So I'm thinking, they did a good service of not showing like experimental, technology into their trailers, or teaser in this case. So good stuff on you, Bethesda. I mean, it's good work. And it was a little bit monochrome, a little not enough colors. I'm thinking like a lot of browns, a lot of grays, and a lot of black. It was a little dark. So, but they had a lot of detail. Like whoever modeled that, like I'm thinking it's done in ZBrush. That's a lot of hours to paint that. But in any case, yeah, I just wanted to show my thoughts. I just logged on my channel earlier, and I'm just trying to find the name here. Somebody mentioned that it was, Black Frost 1728. I will thank you officially for putting up the note that the Video Game Awards of 2010 was tonight. So I just jumped on game trailers just to see if there was anything. As a matter of fact, I was pleasantly surprised. So good stuff. Alright, so don't want it to make too long because it'd be more on the bandwidth. So yeah, until next time, see you around.